scene. Here we go. And we are here live with the semifinals for MOWL Season 5. Woo! Oh, I should have done that. Let me update the title. I should make sure I have Season 5. MOWL Season 5 semifinals. There we go. 5. Update. I think we are all set. Ready to go. And let me tab back in. So, right off the bat, we see Brawl versus Dive. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. Both of these comps being run, depending on what you're, I think it's a lot of map dependent. I think this is a map that somewhat favors Dive, but we'll see how well Atlanta can play this. Very aggressive dive in here with the bubble. Womp Domp getting frozen. Hypernet down as well. Nice shots out from Dimension. Rez out. I will need to turn up my desktop audio here. Give me a second. Alright. When somebody joins, I'll have to make sure that we are good there. And we're set. So, Seattle taking the first fight. Something we didn't get to talk to about much before the game started was kind of our predictions of what we thought, but I think based off the podcast, we had both favored Atlanta in this matchup,
Yeah.
So it is good to see that so far Seattle already coming out strong.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of an underdog here, but the Ryan managed to find some value there in the first fight. Maybe a little bit of a weird pick for the map, but it looks like also Atlanta has Womp switched over to Reinhardt as well.
Do you think
I don't know how the two teams are going to fare.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's interesting that Hax is on the
Oh,
Mei
Hax the Mei, yeah.
I don't think that's
well, I
something
think
we've
Mei
seen before.
can control the flow of the game so much. And, I mean, if Hax is able to get these quick ults as well, it's going to be... Oh, huge! That was... Who was it? Dimensions. Gets 3.
And the
Oh, then they
Echo
go
falls
deep
off after their duplicate. There's no supports here, so it's just tanks. And just the baby defense versus Zarya. Unfortunately, Zarya is definitely favored in that matchup, especially when it's Acid
Yeah,
on
Acid.
that pit. So, not a fun time for, how do you say that name? Zockless?
Zockless? I would go with Zockless.
Zockless? Somebody can correct
what do I
us if we're wrong there. Who do I want to win? I don't care who wins. I just want a good game. This isn't even on our side of the bracket, so I'm just here for the entertainment value. Acid has this grab. Nice window coming out. Not a whole lot being done through it, though. Womp though. Ooh, man. Womp got melted there at the last second. And now Cheesy has this potential free shatter if they want to, but for some reason they're playing extremely passively. Now starting to pitch in a little bit. Looking at the Ana.
Oh, Cheesy's got to go for the shatter here. Could be enormous.
He's been holding on to it. Like, the Ryan's dead. He has a free shatter, but he just doesn't seem to want to invest it. Now the Ryan's back.
Big Wamba hat.
Nice freeze. Still no shatter. Finally comes out,
Ooh,
but
there
his
you go.
team,
Two shatters come out.
team was mostly dead at that point. Bomb defensively, I like that. Will zone off. Ooh, and actually gets one. Now the copy bomb should be coming out in a second as well. Cheesy shield will be up. Although somehow Zockless goes down. Copy finally does. And nice boop there from Shadow Dragon onto Acid. And now we are pretty much all evened up, although Seattle, with the advantage in this particular fight, they also do have this Mayo for the last fight, which can be absolutely brutal. There is no Diva on the other side to try and eat this up, so you think in overtime he can probably just drop this. Hax EMP can just drop this onto the point, and potentially, if the bubbles aren't really good, Atlanta could really struggle here. He's out onto the nanoed Reinhardt. He will have a lot of damage reduction because of that, also getting pocketed by his Ana, and he survives through that entire freeze, and now that will be Atlanta surviving. They got all those picks. Everyone was so focused on Womp Dump that they ended up dying.
Yeah, they didn't see Hypernut and Acid there in their backline, and the two of them just wiped everybody out while everyone was trying to shoot that Reinhardt in the face.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yikes.
And now ult economy definitely in the favor of Atlanta with this copy, High Noon, and Grav. Maybe even a Shatter coming up in this fight.
Shadow Dragon will have beat though for the side of Seattle, so we'll have to see if they can get a good, nice counter off here.
Getting ready for the copy. Gets the Kree. I think they were trying to get the Rhine, but the Kree they'll take as well. It's going to be High Noon from both sides. What a chaotic fight here. Another High Noon.
The second High Noon.
Dude, 3 High Noons just happened in the span of like 5 seconds.
The power of Echo.
And Atlanta will take that first map. Whew.
All right, some interesting stuff there. I mean, you made a comment really early on about Haxing and P. You know, Seattle's probably best player being on May. I questioned it a little bit at first, but I kind of like it there. You know, able to get 2 freezes off and really control the tempo there. You know, freeze is such just a dominating ability, so it's good to have your best player on that and maybe get 2 or 3 per map.
For sure. Yeah, I don't hate it at all. Like, that is what you would consider meta as is the brawl comp right now. So if that's something you've been practicing, then definitely something worth bringing out. And now you see Zoclis going over to the Zarya instead of the Diva, and Dimensions over to the Hanzo, looking for an even harder brawl. We'll have to see how they can deal with Hypernut on the Echo now that they don't have a hit scan, though.
Yeah, it could be pretty tricky there. They dropped the Diva. Did they have a Diva before? They dropped Diva and
they had a Kree and a Diva, and now they swapped it over to the Zarya and the Hanzo. Looking for that
really
Grab Dragon combo.
Tank pressure here, yeah.
Atlanta with the early positioning a little bit better. Also, much better shield health for Womp Domp over Cheesy. And the wall gets nothing. So this is now really bad. Look at Hypernut already at 85% to the Echo.
Holy. Really carrying his team here.
Absolutely farming. I think he'll get the kill on... Yeah, Zoclis goes down as well. Reddy has this copy. Can invest it if they want to, but I think they do have the advantage in this fight, so I don't even know if they will decide to lay that in. I think they will just wait.
Yeah, I mean, they got the positional advantage, they got the point, they're up a man, there's really no need to use that so early.
A nice pick by Dimensions, however, I don't know if they will really get much value out of that. I think they're waiting so long to try and push in here, I don't think there really will be much of an advantage based on that. Window, ooh, nice hack. Mordic going down is huge. This copy's invested, but now I think it's too late unless the huge shatter gets blocked by the bubble. Huge play there by Zoclis. And the beat invested by Shadow Dragon, maybe not needed, but will end up securing this fight, and it will be 41% there to Atlanta, who will be coming in with just about 5 ultimates in their bank. I expect to see an early shatter here, probably from Womp Domp. Cheesy seems to be holding his shatters. At least last round, he held his shatter really, really long. So I'm interested to see whether he will try and lay that in earlier this time, or if he is more of that like counterplay type Ryan that wants to save it.
Yeah, maybe playing a little bit more passive there. Well, the shatter comes out and gets 4.
Dragon though!
Get 3!
Dimensions!
Huge play by Dimensions.
Absolutely enormous. And then the flank there from Haxi and P to also get MODOK. And that was, I mean, it was just Shattered Window, I guess, invested by Atlanta, but it was just, okay, so Hax used the freeze and Dimension used the Dragon. So they did invest both DPS ults there, but they have both tank ults now, which is really strong, as well as another window coming up for Scarlet. So, still decent.
And they still
ult
don't have that
economy.
shatter. I gotta look at the Darius here to see who's gonna use their grab first. I'd like to see Seattle come in with a nice aggressive early one.
Building up the charge. Oh!
Oh, the
grab lands on the wall.
blocked the grab and the high noon.
Yeah.
The high noon still did get 2.
Yeah, in the end, I think they will end up winning this fight. Not a chance for Zoclis to use the grab. That was a nice block. Probably an accidental block onto the grab. But still, nicely done. And now ult economy still really, really even. The thing that can throw that out of whack, though, is this Echo ult that can be 3 ults in 1 a lot of times.
Well, they did get a few out of it when they copied McCree there on the last map, so you know they're definitely getting a lot of value out of it.
Window once again to create some space. Hypernut has a good position here, though. Could look for the copy. Copies the Zarya instead of the Rhine. Oh, and they give the opponent for free. Huge amounts of charge here for the Zarya. This should be a grab here in a matter of a couple seconds. Can they get it there at 99? Grab will come out. Just gets cheesy. Who gets bubbled. Will end up going down, and a nice cleanup there for Atlanta. Unfortunately, they gave over the point, meaning they didn't get any capture percentage during that time, so it still gives Seattle a chance to come back here.
I don't know what your point of view was from that grab by Hypernut on the copy Zarya. The first grab that we saw by Acid got like accidentally hit a wall. I think that one accidentally hit a land.
Hit the corner. I was watching it first person. I think it actually hit the corner of the drum is what I saw, like the turtle head there.
Oh, like right in its face.
Yeah, yeah. But now this is last fight territory here. Ults for both sides are absolutely insane, and Shatter comes out, gets 2 in the back line. Grabbing as well. Nice beat, but the BAP is down here for Seattle. And now, oh no, this is looking like a Atlanta win for sure. Absolutely dominated here on the point. And with the cleanup coming through, that will be the first map going for Atlanta, although I think a lot closer than we might have expected coming into this match.
Absolutely. Like, I think Seattle looked pretty good there. They had a few good things. Axe EMP, Dimensions, like these DPS are popping off here. Hypno's playing extremely well. Like, High Noon is not typically an ult that you get a lot of value of just because of how exposed you need to make yourself to kill anything with, but he's getting like at least 1 every time he pops it, sometimes 2 and 3. So really good ult usage out of him.
For sure. And now, just to take a minute here while we have a chance, because I didn't get to talk about it as it was happening, but Dead Stuck just gifted 5 subs. Holy!
Dang!
Much appreciated, my dude. That is awesome. And yeah, that's sick. Really exciting game, and also really exciting stuff happening in the chat. Do we have predictions that anybody been predicting here in the chat? Killua says Atlanta finally benched Dab. That Dead Suck says they finally wised up. Seattle looking good. Yes, Seattle definitely looking a lot more solid than I think I was expecting, to be honest. I think they looked pretty shaky in the last few weeks that we had seen them, but we really didn't get to see them a whole lot, to be fair. So I'm really glad to see that they've still been working and that they can come out here and give Atlanta a good run for their money. And something I always say, no matter what the game, control is its own thing. You can't really read too much into control. So there's always potential that the rest of the game's gonna be very, very different. So possibly Seattle, maybe if they have some cheese strats to go along with cheesy, maybe they can get something along there, or maybe just as they go along, maybe that brawl comp will look better on some of the other maps that they get to choose now. Anyway, so what do you think about this map pick? It's for playoffs, right? We get to pick any map, if I remember correctly, right?
Oh, do we? Yeah, so the first one for control would be Busan for this weekend. And then, yeah, from there on out, you can just pick whatever you want.
Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's how it is, but my surprise then is, and you might have a different idea here, but like I would say it's kind of a surprise that Seattle wants to take them to Eichenwald here.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really like. It's hard to tell the weakness of Atlanta. That I think they're such a strong team, but maybe Eichenwald just might be a map that they're really comfortable on. Maybe one that they've practiced a lot. Other than that, I don't really have much of an insight as to why they would particularly pick this map.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost unless they have, as I was saying, like some kind of cheese strat they want to run. Maybe I know Hax has like a pretty good Echo, maybe like a Pharah, so maybe they're thinking about that for the first point defense. I don't think they have it. I don't know that they have a Doomfist player, and I know Anime is a good Doom, so you might see him come in on this map because this is a good Doom map. So potentially, I'm really interested because if they just roll out on Brawl, I'm gonna really, really question why they chose this map over, say, like King's Row.
Right. Yeah, like second point especially is just terrible for Reinhardt and Zarya. So you gotta assume that they got some sort of plan for this.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. So far, it does not seem that there are any changes, and also I think Seattle doesn't even have anyone that they can sub in. So I'm pretty sure this is
Correct.
this
Yeah.
is the lineup we will have for them all the way. For Atlanta, however, they definitely do have some swaps that they can make if they want to. Although I don't know the SRs, so I don't know like what's actually possible for them. But I would assume they have some swaps that they are able to make if they want to.
I think Seattle's currently playing as a -1, maybe -2.
I believe
So they have
Shadow
hacks, boots, and
Dragon
masters.
is not actually bronze. They are
No, but
gold,
they're
I
yeah, but they're
believe.
gold. So that's a -1. Zockless is plat. Scarlet is a -2 at silver. Dimensions is a -1 at gold. And then Cheesy's plat, and then Hacks EMP is masters for +2.
Well, Dimensions is plat from what I'm seeing here.
Is that in their profile? Because on the sheet it says gold across all.
Oh, well, they're plat across all three roles in their actual profile.
I don't know. Is that one of these situations where it locks?
Don't think it would have locked because I believe if you go into plat, no, maybe it is. If you go into plat, it could have locked. I don't know. Either way,
Because
though,
I think
even
people
even if
lower
it's
than plat,
technically locked, that still would be a
at least a
normal
-1,
comp. Yeah, so
if not -2.
interesting. I wonder if they just didn't have a player show up tonight, or if that's just the roster they've been
Possible.
running
They
with.
do have a diamond player on there. They have Frostcatcher, who's another plat, and they have Cow, who's a diamond.
Right. So they must have just not been able to make it. Maybe we'll see them later on throughout the scrim,
Mm.
but or not scrim through the game.
Scrim.
it
This
is
is playoffs,
it
my
is
dude.
first to four, so there's more time. At least I believe it is first to four, right? All the finals or all the semis, or is it still first to three? I probably should have looked into that before.
Yeah, how long are we gonna be here tonight?
But I just assumed it was first to four because it's playoffs. But somebody in chat maybe who knows
True.
that for
Yeah,
sure can
I
let
think
me know.
Deadstock's still. Maybe he'll be able to give us a little bit of insight. Although maybe not, because he's got a game coming up himself soon in 10 minutes.
True, he may be distracted now. It may be a frozen rank. Dude, I've been trying to get emotes for ages, but I'm not gonna say who, but somebody's been saying they'll make them for me, and they never do. So I should probably find another way to get them. I'll try and work on that this upcoming week.
You need a designer.
Well, the thing is, I am terrible at art in general, so yeah, I need somebody who's like actually good at that. Or I just need to find out like what people use, like if there's a program you can use to like create them.
Yeah.
I would
There's a few slick
love.
ones going around the Discord, eh?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I would love to have some like Farah based
Yeah, yeah.
emotes. That would be sick. I'd be so down for that. Even though I don't even play much Farah anymore, I'm still big on the old Farah, which I'm hoping we'll see at some point tonight. But it looks like both these teams are pretty well locked into Brawl, which I think if you're confident in your Brawl, and I think both these teams are, why not? If you think you can win it, you can win that matchup, then might as well take it.
We're seeing straight meta coming out of Atlanta for this here, and for Seattle, playing with Azaria Hanzo. A little bit of a variant, but still strong nonetheless.
Looking for that grab dragon.
Yeah. So they are coming out on Brawl on Eichenwald. We'll see what they do for point 2.
Look at this dab with the wall.
Big wall.
And the freeze on the
walls.
Cheesy. Cheesy's shield already gone. However, no one's dropped yet. Ooh, dang, somehow. Seattle keeping this very competitive here. What a chaotic fight. Although I think in the end it looks like I think Atlanta will have the advantage in this fight. I think if you're Seattle, you need to play it slow. You need to wait for your respawns. You have faster respawns, but instead they're pushing in with only 4, and yeah, now Scarlet's down. This will be a lost fight, and they're going to have to completely reset unless they somehow go crazy. But without their Baptiste and with the Bap up on the other side, I can't see this going their way.
The two Mays really having a mirror match there, both trying to freeze each other. Both pop in and out of the ice skull in 1 second.
Somehow, I don't know how Cheesy lived that long without the Baptiste being alive.
Yeah, that was absurd.
But in the end, this will now, after a full, like, over a minute long fight that should have been lost ages ago. Seattle will finally be forced to reset, and with not really much to show for that whole time.
Well, they're coming up on a dragon. They'll probably have their May freeze here. Shatter as well. Enemy Saint's already used his Shatter and is back up past 50% already. We got a bomb, a high noon from Acid and Hypnos, and a window from Magnomaly.
Acid is over onto the Diva, which is
It's an unfortunate placement for the window.
scary for Hax, who's looking for this May ult.
Yeah.
Here it comes, does not get eaten, but Acid with two in the back line. And that's the supports as well as most of their damage. The Mayfreeze gets absolutely nothing, and this again, Beat invested, but the freeze is gonna come out and just totally counteract that. Grab in a 2v4 situation. The Zarya goes down, Hax gets one,
There goes
but
Hack.
there's still
Unfortunate.
there were five people there, and now they've used like all their win conditions. They used their grab. They still have this dragon, but that's not exactly the ult you want to be fully relying on. Shatter v Shatter, Anime versus Cheesy.
Anime's playing so well tonight so far. Here comes the dragon. He's going to split the team here.
Nothing
Nothing with the Shatter. The Beat is invested by Mordok.
Both Shatters miss.
Hypnos again gets
two
two.
though. And once again, this will be Seattle having to reset. They seem to always get one pick at the end of each fight, but it doesn't really matter because it just takes too long for their team to get back.
If Seattle can speed out the spawn here, they should be able to do like a really quick fight before the defense manages to get 6 back again.
So I just looked over at spawn, and Dadmaster just walled Hypnos into their own spawn there for a second. So trolling his own teammate a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably why he was on the bench for the first map.
Bomb coming
this
out.
could be a nasty bomb.
Right in the middle, and it gets two, the Immort.
Anime Saint cleaning up.
And Cheesy just has to slink slowly back to spawn. Although they're going to chase him down, and they can actually get a wall on him here. I think he's going to get staggered out.
This is a big stagger.
30 seconds left. Hack TMP does have the Mayo, but I think Acid's going to know this, and, you know, that's always a scary matchup. We'll see how Hax manages to try and get that out.
Look at the aggressive positioning for Dadmaster here as well. They're really going to split the team here.
They did that the first fight, and he hasn't done it since, so I doubt they'll be expecting it again. And boom! Acid Gill.
Oh, Acid got him before.
And now it's May trying to get the point. And in the end, it will be 52% captured for Seattle, but Atlanta looking very, very dominant on this defense.
Oh yeah, what do you say? Like Acid and Acid especially causes so much trouble in the back line of Seattle. Just able to pick off one or two every fight. Hypno's getting a ton of value there. Anime Saint building Shatters. You know, what do you have? 3 that map. And then you know Murdoch getting some big beats. Magnomaly having a window every other fight. Dadmaster just hiding in the corner. You know, putting a wall up randomly. I don't know what that's doing, but walling off his own teammates.
Well, also,
but yeah, Atlanta's looking really good.
Seattle did what I'm gonna call the Soul Syndrome, or has the Soul Syndrome, however I would want to say that. But whenever I was watching the Soul game last night, Soul kept on. They would have plenty of time for another fight, and they'd have the ult advantage, and all they had to do was come back the next fight after Philly had used all their ults and just win the next fight. But they would keep, when they only had 2 people left, they would invest 2 ults and then kill like 1 or 2 people, but then they'd lose.
Oh no.
Then they'd come back. And the same thing Seattle did here, right? Where they lost their BAP super early, and then they invested Beat. Then they lost like 2 or 3 more people, and then they invested like Mayo. And then they lost like another person. Then they invested Grab. And it was just like, oh no. And that was just, I feel like that's where they pretty much lost that round. So they may have to try and clean that up, ult usage a little bit here, and then maybe they can hold, because it's still, besides that, like, it was very close. They were trading players. It's just the ult economy was quite a bit of a struggle. MOWL out pretty early, gets some value, but doesn't get any pickups, and Cheesy Shield already starting to melt. Hypnos gets a pick onto the Lucio. Cheesy already low, and this looks like it's going to be a super fast cap for Atlanta, unless somehow they can clutch it, but it's just the Zarya here in a 1v5, and in the end will be an extremely fast cap.
Yeah, I mean, they just pushed in and gave the backline more trouble, and then they had that master picked Widow. I don't think Seattle really expected it, and they opened up a huge angle there and was able to pick off one in the backline as well. So, I mean, kind of, I think maybe they caught Seattle off guard a little bit with that pick, but Atlanta looking playing really fast, just playing really coordinated as well. It's gonna be tough for Seattle.
May play the game. You hate to see it. I'm actually kind of surprised it wasn't that acid bomb there on their
Yeah,
first
yeah.
defense.
Yeah, Ass is looking really, really dangerous on the diva as he's been all season.
They are asking for a halftime. Maybe they are looking to get that last player. Wait, Dallas Fuel won. Is that real?
They playing tonight?
Not our Dallas Fuel, like the real Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Tokyo.
They played versus Gladiators.
Oh dang, that's 2 losses for the Gladiators to start the season.
If that really happened, I am kind of hyped because I love Dallas, but also
Yeah.
how they lost to freaking Houston.
Yeah, maybe Houston's just a little bit better than everyone thought.
Yeah, I mean I
Let me
do
check
think
my
Houston
phone
was really
here.
underrated, but yeah, they did. That's crazy,
What was the
dude.
map score?
3-1, I think.
Yikes.
I'll go back and watch that for sure. I love watching Dallas. If they can get, man, if they had Exy, dude, that team would be nuts.
Dude, so I went to Google and I typed in owl scores, and the first result was from Harry Potter, ordinary wizarding level. So
Okay then.
you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Feels bad. Interesting. Well, that's
Uh,
another match that I got wrong, unfortunately. No points for me. Oh well.
Unlucky. Have you been doing that betting? Like I mean, I guess maybe not
Predictions.
betting, but picks, predictions. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta get on that. It should
Oh,
be
it's
fun. You
hype,
should.
dude. You should come on and do a video with me. I did it for this week. You should do it with me next
Oh
week.
yeah. Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
I've only gotten like half of it right so far, but I mean for first week I'll take it, right? Like stuff
Yeah,
is
I mean, first
so,
week's always a mess.
and I'm fully convinced that both Atlanta and Seoul should have won. Like watching those games, it just felt like they both
Hmm.
threw. Especially not so much Atlanta because Florida had a nice Hanamura, and like I'm not even mad that they won that one. But Seoul, they should have 3-0'd. They should have won the first 3 maps for sure, and they threw the first two in like spectacular fashion. Oh man, I'm wondering here if Seattle is hoping that some of their other players will show up, and maybe that's why they want the halftime. Otherwise, maybe they're just wanting the halftime in general.
True. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. They only have 6 people here with no bench, and they're running at a -2, maybe -1. Not really sure how the SRs work, but they certainly have enough space for another diamond or a tank. So
Hmm.
hopefully, maybe Cal or Frostcatcher can make it into the match. I think Frostcatcher was kind of a late, and Cal. I think they picked up both these players in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I'm
Seattle's one
surprised.
of those teams in the league that have very few people on their
Very few.
roster. I think they had a little bit of trouble maybe earlier on. I think they did they forfeit against us.
Yes.
They couldn't get, yeah. So yeah, there's that, and now it looks like they picked up 2 more players to have a total of 8. But unfortunately, 2 are not here right now.
Yeah, it is. It's been a struggle for them in the last half of the season. And we've talked about this over and over again, like the benefits of having a small roster versus having a big roster. One of the detriments of having a small roster is if your players don't show up, you got to run what you got, and
Right.
that's what they're running into right now. They're still not playing poorly by any means. They're just they're
Ooh, it looks
not
like
they're outmatched.
Cheesy. So Cheesy is actually a support player according to this list. They are plat on both roles, on tank and
Yeah,
support,
I see that.
but they are there as a support player. Um, so was Sockless. So they're playing 2 supports on tank.
Oh, that really hurts. I mean, Zoclis especially has been playing really, really well. I
Hmm.
think Cheesy's been doing their best. I think the biggest thing I would say is they are letting their shield break too fast.
Yeah, yeah.
In a lot of these fights, so that pretty much just means they're shielding too much, which I think is a struggle for a lot of Reinhardts to juggle. Is when you need to shield and when you need to make sure that your team is using cover and all that kind of things. And part of that may just be that this team has not practiced with them on main tanks, so they just don't have that base synergy that you would really want from your Ryan in that comp. Um, but 100% for the fact that we're assuming that this is not the lineup that ideally they would want to have, I think Seattle is still playing really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to these players if they are off rolling, um, stepping up, and they're certainly playing well.
I wish we knew what map they were going to next, but I guess we will
What are you
find
thinking?
out.
Just make a random guess.
I'm assuming you have to go through every game mode, right? Even though you can choose any map.
I would assume that you could. Yeah, you can't repeat game modes.
So I would guess probably the next would be payload. I don't think anybody likes 2CP. If they're gonna go to 2CP, probably go to like Hanamura and try to like get some really good Maywalls off would be kind of my
Okay,
assumption. But
fair enough.
I don't think anybody likes 2CPs, so potentially looking at a payload, in which case, ooh, maybe Dorado? Am I forgetting about a payload
Uh,
map?
could be Dorado.
I don't
I'm
think
trying
they'd
to.
go Route 66. I don't think they would go. I'm trying to think of what all the payload maps
There's
they got.
Havana and Rialto,
Yeah,
Dorado,
I
Route
don't think
66,
those.
Gibraltar, Junkertown. I think
Yeah,
that's about all of them.
yeah. I don't. I think you go Dorado. I think you either go Dorado, Hanamura would be probably what I would assume would be one of the two picks. Maybe Volskaya, but I wouldn't really recommend it.
Yeah. So based on what we saw, like the Zarya and Hanzo combo that they want to run, I think Dorado makes sense.
Hmm.
Definitely more so than like a Junkertown or Route 66. Um, Assault could be really anything. Hanamura, Vizcaya, Anubis. I'll get just randomly guess Anubis. Anubis and Dorado.
Even looking at dimensions, he doesn't look like all that much of a DPS player. Like I guess his most played character is Kree, but if you look at like all of his seasons, he like only main DPS the last season. Before that, he was like, or yeah, last season, not even this season. This season looked like he was playing tank and support. Last season he played DPS, but before that he played support, like,
A little bit of everything.
and then a bit of tank. Yeah, so
They are on the sheet as a flex player, so maybe they are one of these actual true flex players who has like a pretty big hero pool.
111 games won in season 26 is DPS. Woo!
Dang.
It's a lot of games played. I can't even imagine. 63% win rate. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did they say what time next map starts? Next map starts 8:40. We got 3 minutes.
840.
Well, we still got 3 minutes, so I am going to walk around for a minute and then be back. Let me turn on the music if I can find it real quick. Bring that up. Easy, easy. Pop that in. Alright, and I'll be right back.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, how we looking?
It's been pretty quiet. No map yet.
No map
Still
yet.
looking at Eichenwald, unfortunately.
No swaps yet either. Wait, no, they did not. So not much going on yet. I believe the next semifinal is also should be going by now. So definitely going to be watching that one as soon as we are done here.
For sure.
That one will be the decider of who we will be playing. So it should be very interesting.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna want to check that out.
I should ask if it's best or first to 3.
Yeah, that'd be nice to know.
It's probably 3 because I haven't heard 4. I'm assuming just finals is 4, which is kind of sad. We can do it to 4.
Alright, 66. Route 66.
I don't like this map pick, but
Dude, I hate this map in general. This is a tough map to play. It's so wide open.
yeah. So yes, I think they're probably gonna try and go for a close hold, right? And they're just gonna they probably have some specific strats that they're trying to work out. Maybe they'll even come out with something different than what we've seen. But just assuming that they're gonna run what they've been running, I think Dorado would have been better, in my opinion.
Maybe, although Diva is really strong on Dorado as well, especially second point, and we all know Acid likes to play that.
It's strong here too, though. Like the entire map is strong.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Diva's just strong everywhere. That's why she's meta.
We are seeing both teams now, and now Hacks over onto the Echo, which we've seen him be extremely solid on throughout the entire season. And Dimensions over onto the Mei. This is something I was kind of wondering why when they were running Hanzo and Mei, why they were having Hacks on the Mei, when we've seen Hacks' Hanzo be kind of absurd throughout the entire season. But now they are swapping that up. And no Brawl DPS here for Atlanta. It will be the Tracer and the Ashe, looking more for pick potential than that consistent Brawly type DPS.
The fact that we have Atlanta as blue and Seattle as red is messing me up every single time.
Yeah, it is very strange to me for some reason as well. I don't know why is that. Did they swap sides?
I don't think so. I think they've just been on attack. Seattle's been on attack first, or red first all this time.
I don't know. It's weird. Because I felt the exact same way when I saw Acid. I was like, why is he blue?
Yeah. It just makes you think for a second. Alright, Hypnos getting the first pick of the game on Hacks.
The wall doesn't get anybody in. Dab in the back will get Scarlet. Shadow going down as well will be a fight win already for the girl. Look at that charge. Anime all the way into the spawn door. Tries to send Sheezy back into the spawn with a charge instead of a death, but unfortunately we'll just kill him against the spawn door in the end. And now Dab already has this pulse bomb. Pulse.
Yeah, oh, just misses.
That was so close to landing. No more ult super close yet, except for BAP ults on both sides getting pretty close. Acid getting really low, but will back up, get an Immort as well, and Hacks goes down to a Fire Strike. That's kind of brutal. Anime has this Shatter now. Might look to use it, but probably will just wait till the next fight. Hacks also has the copy. GG shield's really low, he's got to be careful. Copy in. Hacks immediately knocked out of that one.
Unlucky. Hacks getting picked off early quite a few times here.
Still no Shatter. Anime really holding on to this one, but they do end up winning the fight anyway. And even though that res comes in onto Hacks, I'd imagine he's probably still just going to die for it as they are pushing up once again to the spawn of Seattle. Hacks getting staggered out. And look at this. Look at this. Look at Anime. Do they know?
Well, there's a few there. This is gonna be a big slam.
Here it comes.
Conquer's
Hack
trying
saw
to
it.
get him. We don't see it.
It was too late.
Gets 3.
Cheesy down, Hack's down. Dab will probably get the Mercy as well. Not quite. Res did come out on Hacks, but I think once again they can't push this. They don't have their Rhine. And now the ult economy is definitely in the advantage of Seattle, but I'm not really seeing what the strategy here was from Seattle and why they picked this map.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Echo's, I mean, it's a good Echo map, but I think Echo's, you know, at least decent on every single map.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shatter!
Slam by Cheesy.
And the bomb.
Over the top. Oh, it gets cut on the railing.
Yeah. It was a little bit late to be done with the Shatter. Would have been a huge combo, but unfortunately didn't quite get it off in time. And now another copy here from Hacks. Gets the Shatter up. Misses it. Doesn't get the charge, but I think will get acid off with that. But in the end, I think this will still be a hold for Atlanta, despite that huge Shatter that came out. And now they have the ult advantage again. Dimensions doesn't have this MOWL quite yet. It'll just be the Valk.
Dude, Dabmaster again is in the back row.
Yeah,
Forces Shadow Dragon to Valk just to get away.
constantly harassing the
They have
supports.
been
The
living
bomb
back there.
gets the Valkyrie Mercy. The BAP goes down. Shatter in to finish it all
Clean it
off.
up.
I don't think anybody touches. That will be
Yeah.
the hold there for Atlanta just around this first corner. And now, if you're Seattle, everyone knows what you're gonna do. You have to be in the spawn of Atlanta. And after seeing the Eichenwald defense or the offense for Atlanta, I am not real hopeful, unfortunately, for Seattle's chances to hold this one.
Oh, Atlantis has been playing so well. I think a lot of that comes from Dabmaster and Acid, obviously 2 masters on the team. But this whole game, if you were watching Dabmaster, they were living in the back line of Seattle, applying constant pressure to Scarlet and to Shadow Dragon, and just making it really difficult for the supports to get a whole ton of value. And then, you know, if the supports are busy trying to keep themselves alive, then the front line's going to fall. And if they only focus on the front line, then the back line falls, and it's just it's a lot of chaos that they're managed to cause here.
Attackers incoming in 30
Now we will see Widow Tracer again, possibly, if they actually end up coming out with that, looking for those picks. And all it really takes is 1 or 2 picks if you are Atlanta. And actually, Seattle's not even holding up close. I really hate this even more. I think if you take a close up fight right on the cart, you have a very, very small chance of a second fight. Here, you get 1 fight. That is it. If you lose, pretty much if you get picked by this Widow, this game is over. And they're not even holding on the ground either. They're holding on the cafe where they have a ranged disadvantage, because unless the Hanzo kills the Widow's going to have the advantage on them. Hax is on the Kree, already knocked off the high ground by Acid, who is just controlling this high ground now, not contested at all. And now it is one pick from being captured, although Anime a little bit too aggressive. The Mercy tries to go for the res, but will not be able to. Dab, though, trading out, gets the Kree. No res available. Dimension will not go down. Fortunately, does get Hypnos as a trade back, but this Widow is still kind of uncontested. Gets both DPS. Can Seattle hold out till their DPS show up? And Dab already rezzed. Will just go for more shots onto the BAP, who is going to be taken down. Acid just standing in the back, just absolutely destroying the backline of Seattle. Hack's trying to get back. Will contest a little bit on the Tracer. They almost have the grab, actually. Grab in.
Oh, they did get it off, but
in the end, it will not matter.
Dang, Atlanta. 3-0 win over Seattle, looking absolutely dominant this game. You know, I don't know what else to say. Acid really popping off. Dabmaster looking great on everything that they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, they just look like the better team, which is something that we expected. I think especially the first map, we were surprised by how strong Seattle came out looking. But as
Hmm.
the series went on, Atlanta just looked stronger and stronger. And I think Seattle kind of lost what had been working for them really early on. Again, Control kind of its own game mode. Unfortunately, we were saying like you can't read too much into it. Unfortunately, we couldn't read too much into it looking close for Seattle, as Atlanta just absolutely dominates in those next two maps. Um, and unfortunately, that will be the end for Seattle's season, and we will have to wait till next season to be able to see them again. However, Atlanta now is locked in to face Boston as the number 3 seed going up against the number 2 seed next week.
Yeah, I think that match should be a little bit closer than this one was. If I do remember correctly, I think Atlanta did lose to Boston earlier in the season. Does that sound about right?
Yes, I believe they did.
Uh, yeah, I don't know when it was, but I was that the end?
It was a
I don't know.
while ago. I'm pretty sure it was like
Oh, was it?
pretty
No, it
early
was in
on.
week 9.
Was it?
Boston won 3-0.
Oh, true.
Right, because Atlanta had a brutal end to the season. They had to face a lot of hard teams.
Yeah, that's right. I think that is what kind of caused Atlanta to stumble for a second, but then their win over Florida really like pumped them back up. So now
Right.
I think that matchup is going to be kind of crazy, especially Boston coming off of the loss versus AG, um, and Atlanta now coming off of 2 back-to-back wins. That's going to be some interesting momentum to look into, and Atlanta looking really, really good to have a very solid chance at making finals now, potentially, if they can take it off Boston. Both those teams very, very solid throughout the entire season, and now looking to solidify themselves. Already have both solidified themselves as semifinalists. Just a matter of whether they can be at least in those finals at the end of this season.
Yeah, well, we were fortunate enough to play Atlanta there quite recently, so we know firsthand of how strong of a team this is.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that is it for us. We're definitely going to head over and go watch the other game being casted currently. So if you are here and now that this game is over, definitely go out and check out that HG versus uh, the Philly game. Should be really, really solid, and we will see you guys hopefully. Well, actually, we may not be able to cast anymore for the rest of the season, depending on what happens in our match next season or next.
Hopefully we won't be able to
Yeah.
cast anymore for the rest of the season.
If we cast the finals, it will be both sad and happy at the same time because I've never gotten to cast the finals before. So
Yeah.
either way, I'll take what I get. I'd rather play in them, but I would take casting them if I had the opportunity as well. With that being said, alrighty, we will see you guys at the very least next season for casting, and obviously you will see us in our match next week.